a minute.
All right. Yeah, I'm doing the fade out now. All right. Welcome. I am Bob, the producer of the House of Static. No, how you doing? I'm Bob Smith. This is the House of Static live. And my co-hosts, of course, on the West Coast, our good friend, Mr. Kilo House. Kilo, say hello.
Hello.
All right. And here on the East Coast, in just a few, we were just discussing about 250 miles south of me is Alexandria Tava. Say hello, Alex.
Oh, hello. Hello. Hello.
Oh, hello. All
I
right.
really
So,
did think you were going to say, I am Bob the Builder. I don't know why I thought you were going to
no,
say
I
that.
was making a joke because, like, if this were like, say, a radio show, right? The producer's job is what I just did with the intro, but fading things in, fading out, cueing things and everything. So I was making a joke, a radio joke there. And it wasn't very funny.
What's
It
a radio?
wasn't
Bob?
funny. It wasn't good.
What's
Wasn't
a radio?
Well,
What'd you say about radio?
I don't know.
Anyway, what's radio anyway? So,
That is what I said, actually, Bob.
oh, I see. I used to have a radio show, you know.
I was going to say, what would be your radio DJ name? I need to move you a little closer.
Who's that? Who are you asking the
It
question?
would be Bob the Builder for sure, I think.
I don't know. Bouncing. Hey, hi, it's Bouncing Bob Smith, WBOB live. You know, yeah. The radio is silly. I used to work with a lot of radio people, and a lot of them talk like that when they talk. Like, and it's the craziest thing. I would call them up and talk to, because the company, my company was doing like research for radio and for record labels. This is 20 years ago. And but I talked to these radio stations and they'd be like, hey Bob, how you doing? Like, hey Todd,
Hey,
what's
don't
up?
fuck yourself.
It's so funny, but it's like not even his fault. He was like, you know, in 10 minutes he's gonna go on the air. You know what I mean? So he just talks, hey, how's it going? Hey, you want some coffee? I got coffee. It's really great. You know, like that's how they talk. It's insane.
I did
Anyway.
college radio. It was the Burn. It was the first year that Berkeley College of Music had a radio station. And DJ Endo, who is pretty big, he's pretty high up there. Do you know Grandmaster Flash?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He trained Grandmaster Flash how to do digital DJing from turntabling. So DJ Endo,
Grandmaster Flash, for anybody that doesn't know, is like literally the most famous original, like real deal DJ of old school hip hop of all time. I mean, Grandmaster Flash, like in Blondie's song Rapture, she talks about Grandmaster Flash, Fab Five Freddy, Grandmaster Flash. I mean, that's the real old school New York hip hop right there. So
when
anyway,
Native
continue.
Instruments came out with Tractor, they endorsed Grandmaster Flash to kind of take the old school to the new school, and DJ Endo tutored him.
Taught
Yeah.
Flash how to do it. That's awesome.
He was the person who put together the Berkeley Burn, and I was the only girl in the crew. So I got to have my own little show, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just like, how is everybody doing?
There you go.
No one
Tell me
ever
what
let me
song.
be on
Were you
radio.
doing like, what'd you say, Keela?
No one would ever let me be on a radio show, and you guys shouldn't have let me be on a podcast, but now we're here. So
I think it's great.
But I would sing your stuff.
Yeah.
See, I would be like, and everybody, we have Kilo House.
I wouldn't let me be on a radio show. I'm not saying just everyone else, nobody, not
Right.
even myself. I'd be like, I don't know what I'm going to say, so I'm not going to do it.
Wow, you it's no different than what you're doing right now, my friend.
know.
It's the same
And
thing.
You guys made this mistake. Actually, Bob, you did. No.
Yeah.
Look,
When I had a radio show for a couple of years locally here, but here where I live in Queensborough, it was it's everything I did was some kind of independent music thing. So it was like regional, like local and regional bands, and I would play their music on the radio once a week. I had an hour. I had like a TV show that aired locally, and then the radio show aired like immediately after. It was pretty neat the way I had it set up. But anyway, But it was all pre-recorded. So I had my studio, which at the time was out in my garage, but it was basically the same as what you're looking at now, just not as nice because I was in a garage. And I would record the whole show just sitting there like this. And then, basically I just record my cues like, hey, up next is yada, yada, yada. And they're going to play blah, 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 and then I would just piece it together. And I think I used acid at the time, not the drug, the software.
I think I was doing a radio show.
I think I was on acid at the time.
So I don't know.
No. But anyway, but it was fun. But I didn't get to do what you did, which is like sit in the radio booth and really kind of do a live radio show. I would once a week drop a CD off at the station and be like, here's my show. And I didn't even know the people that worked there. I just dropped my show off. Said, see you later.
Did they ever play it though? That's the question.
They did. It was on every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
gonna say, are you sure?
You'd say, what slot do you want? I remember. I was like, oh, like
That's
what
awesome.
slot you got mattered.
Well, sure. Yeah. That's when people, it's all about when people are listening,
Mhm.
but it's a weird world, radio.
Right
And
now.
I like
What's
the
that?
local radios. Sorry.
your sound is kind of muffly tonight, Kilo.
Oh, that sucks. Isn't it always?
Well, no, I was having a harder time here. It could be me, but I could hear Alex better, but not you.
Ah,
Well, I mean, you could hear okay. I think that might have helped when you just
make
angled
it
the mic.
better. Is it the mic? Is my mic actually what is coming through, or is it my?
That's not something we could answer, I don't think.
I'm asking myself, sir.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, anyway. Well, good thing we're not live right now. That was a joke.
Don't
We
worry.
are. I'm just kidding. That was
Okay,
was a
watch
joke.
out. It might make really loud noise.
You're gonna make loud noises? Oh, my cat. My cat is
Talking.
back there. My cat's yelling at me.
The cat.
Yeah, my cat is at the door, mad at me. that I have to go
Oh,
to.
we could bring on our first guest.
There you go. I'll go get this is Cece.
Oh, what have I been saying all day, Kilo? I want the spirit cat.
Ah, is that better? No, yes, or no?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Oh, you know what? You know why he can hear me? Because we're getting the reverb.
She has really crazy reverb in there. I've been helping her warm her voice up, and she
Uh-huh.
gets like natural reverb in that room, and I like it a lot.
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, anytime if you can kind of harness it, control it and but use the
Well,
reverb. It's awesome.
I am the king of the reverb, Bob. You have
You
told me
are.
that.
You are a big fan of the
Oh.
reverb, and you're good at it.
You are
So
really
you wanted the cat. This is Cece. He's my cat.
She
Cece
always
is
wants
named-
a cat.
He
Can
is
you hear
named
me better,
Cece
Bob?
because- What's
Bob,
that?
Can you hear
I can
me
hear you
better?
much better. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Good.
Cece's name is Cece because he was originally Car Cat and then he was Cray Cat. It was a tiny little thing that was in my girlfriend, the hood of my girlfriend's car one morning. She was actually driving the kid to the babysitter. This is years ago. And they heard this noise and they pulled back in the driveway and opened it up and a little kitten jumped out of the hood. And then for a couple of days, he wandered around our house, and I put tuna out in the front porch and stuff. So we saw him, but he wouldn't come in. We finally got him to come inside. And that was like, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago. And now he was so small. And now he's like the biggest, fattest cat you've ever seen. He's massive.
I love what TV show was Fat Cat from? Fat Cat Friends.
Smelly cat.
Smelly Cat.
Smelly cat. Yeah.
That's
Phoebe
more
Sanders.
politically correct because we
Right.
we love all.
Well, Cece is not smelly, but he is fat, aren't you, buddy? Anyway, so obviously other than Cece, we don't actually have a guest this week.
Right.
But we do have our games that we play.
Well, and we all just had Thanksgiving, so everybody.
Oh
should
yeah,
be
yeah, that's right.
saying, like,
Did you have a nice-
what was your favorite thing you had for Thanksgiving, Bob?
Well, let's see. I'm vegan, as you two know, and some people watching may know, but so my Thanksgiving is a little different than most, but the favorite part of it was I don't know. I had a lot of good stuff. I cook. I did all the cooking, so I like it all. How about
Well,
that?
You
The
like
favorite
it?
part.
Me
Well, we
too.
got a really good vegan stuffing from a local place. Oh no, you know what? I could I'll shout out to a local business. my friend Matt Funicello, who owns Rock Hill Bakehouse in Glens Falls. They make the best bread you've literally ever had. So probably the best thing I had was the sourdough bread, and he's vegan too. So it's like a whole place is vegan, and it's like
Nice.
amazing food. Yeah, it's great stuff. Anyway, so that was it, the sourdough bread from Rock
What
Hill.
was the main, like, instead of turkey, did you do tofu turkey? Like, did you have a main?
Turkey.
Tofu,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, there's I mean, I don't usually eat that kind of crap, but you know, because I usually just make I just kind of make food from
Yeah.
like from plant stuff. So, but we did have for Thanksgiving, you know, got to have some kind of like thing, protein looking thing on the plate. But so but they make like it's basically like meatloaf, but it's all made from vegetables. You know what I mean?
A vegetable
I
loaf.
love that.
Yeah, they call it field roast. They call it a field roast, but it looks like a meatloaf. It kind of tastes like meatloaf, and it's just, but it's just
Oh,
made
I
from
want
like
that.
wheat and stuff like that. Yeah, look it up. If you look up, I forgot the name of the company, but they make a thing called field roast. They're
Okay,
pretty popular with
Cool.
you know vegan
Very
types.
cool. What about you, Alex?
what was my favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, how could I forget? I love sweet potatoes, and my mom will have regular sweet potatoes, and then she'll have the candied ones.
Mhm.
So I'll eat the healthy ones, and then I'll eat more of the candied ones.
All right.
Right.
Uh-huh. What about you?
Probably twice baked potatoes.
Oh, I love twice baked potatoes. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But what's a twice baked potato? Like you bake it twice?
It's a potato that you bake more than one time.
No, well,
I know.
I could tell
I know.
I've made them, so I could tell you how they're made.
It's like
So
you make mashed potatoes, and you like scoop the potato out of the skin. You put like sour cream and stuff in it when you're making the mashed potatoes, and then you put it back in the skin. and then
right.
in the oven and bake.
You got to bake the potato first. That's why it's twice baked. So you bake it like most of the way baked, and then cut it in half, and then scoop that crap out, like Kilo said.
And
That's when
then
you mix up the magic, and you put like sour cream and all kinds of tasty stuff in there, and garlic and things, you know, whatever you like, and some people put cheese, whatever, and then put it back in the boat.
yeah, I love it.
When I was a
It's
kid,
great.
I used to call it potato in a boat. I don't know because it would
But
look like
I'm very partial to Thanksgiving food. Like I love the food that I've always had since I was a kid for Thanksgiving, except I don't eat the meat anymore because it makes my stomach upset. So like my stomach is forcing me to be like a vegetarian. I
There you
refuse
go.
in my brain to admit the truth. But my stomach is going, I don't like this. So
We're
but
not built to eat that stuff, man. We're not built.
you're
for it.
not built to eat that stuff, Bob.
We're not. We're not.
I'm not built to eat anything. So
Yeah,
there's
well,
that.
there you go.
I mean, we can't put that past my body. But also I got to have carrot casserole, which I love, and it sounds gross, but it's not.
Doesn't? Yeah, that sounds good.
And string bean casserole. Mhm.
Oh,
Right on, man.
All of the
All the
potato
casseroles. There you
boat
go.
casserole is what they should have called them.
We got a turkey
Like that.
casserole, some cranberry casserole.
yeah, it's like that scene from Forrest Gump where there's like shrimp gumbo, we got shrimp kebab, we got shrimp skewers.
Yeah.
from Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah.
That's We got sort of Bubba Gump, shrimp. Yeah, Bubba Gump shrimp.
That's my favorite movie, best
Right
soundtrack.
on. So anyway, did other than the food though, did you both enjoy your holiday?
I did. I enjoyed mine. Did you, Alex?
I honestly, this was the most this is an amazing holiday. Does everyone out there want to know why?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Please do tell.
Because I decided that it is time to open my heart to love.
Wow. That's
And how did that happen, Alex? How did that? Let me just ask, who got you to do that?
There was this producer long across the land, and he liked this princess. Yeah, so Kilo and I decided to be in a relationship.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting to interpret it for everybody. So yeah, they're
I
dating.
was watching Bob get more and more awkward. He started
And
going
so
on.
anyway, yes, they're dating. It's
So
wonderful.
now
thing. We're all
Bob
very
wants to babysit us. No, I'm kidding.
No.
You're the cool one. We're like learning from you.
Now there's no adults
idea.
in the room.
We are
anymore.
doomed if I'm the cool one. And it's
No,
definitely
but
not something I've ever been accused of.
Finally, your boy over here got the balls to not think he was being a man by not asking her out, which doesn't make any sense. And I finally was like, wait, oh, I should probably do that now. So I did. And that was mainly our Thanksgiving. I guess it didn't happen on Thanksgiving, but over the holiday, the
Nice.
Thanksgiving holiday.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's a wonderful turn of events. I endorse this wholeheartedly. How about that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I seek your approval at every hour of the day.
You should.
Hey, I just want people who are watching, I feel like relationships and old school way of courting has, like, I'm very progressive, but I like the old school courting thing.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. Show them the flowers behind you. That-
Excuse
That's
me.
creepy.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Look at these beautiful flowers. So whether you are, whatever type of relationship you're in, I think that if you care about someone, you should just go for it and do a sentiment of love, and
Yeah.
that can be a friend, or it doesn't always have to just be romantic. It's just
Mhm.
people. I think people forget that to show appreciation for each other.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
That's
holiday.
why when we were
about.
we were talking about it the other day, the three of us, and I just said, flowers are just always nice. They just are. It's a nice thing to do for somebody. And if a bouquet of roses showed up here for me, I'd be like, well, that's nice. Somebody sent me flowers. You know what I mean? Like, so it's always a good thing. So there you go. It's
Well,
opening
and Bob,
yourself up to being kind to people,
Bob sent me a stuffed animal.
Yes.
moose.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. Yeah.
the
Did you
moose
did you
is
like
here.
him?
Yes, I love him. He's right there under the piano.
Oh, that's
He's
awesome.
hanging out
I
right
like your
there.
on-air sign too, by the way. Is that new?
Yeah, because the other one fucking broke because it went off of the piano and onto the floor and then off of the air.
Yeah,
Well,
but
this
this
one's
is really
too.
cool.
Yeah,
It's
that
really-
looks good, man. Yeah,
Well,
rock on.
Thanks to Mama Marcia, who is my mom, because she was like, "Oh no, yeah, how are they gonna know you're on the air?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm pretty sure, like,
You'll be
with-
on the screen on their screen. Who's they?
right, I'm pretty sure they'll know." But no, so she
That's
got that.
funny.
I love it. Your mom's stuff.
That is awesome. Well, cool. I'm very glad that you both had such an eventful and lovely holiday, and that's awesome. I had a very nice one as well. It was very
Yes.
quiet. I had my family.
Except you hurt
Yeah.
your knee.
I did. Well, that was the other thing. But so I had Thanksgiving was very nice. My family's very small. My family in America is very small. My mom is from Ireland, so most of my relatives actually live in England and Ireland, mostly in England, really. But I have a small family here. My brother, sister, and my mom, and my cousins. Chris has been on the show here before. That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, at Thanksgiving, we had myself, my girlfriend Sarah, my mom and my brother, and then her mom and daughter, and then a whole bunch of animals, and it was awesome. It was real.
Now you didn't eat the animals; you just invited them all.
No,
to-
we're all a bunch of crazy hippie
Okay.
animal lovers. So it was so we had ours. Well, we didn't have a bunch of animals. I think we had our 3 cats and Kathy's dog.
That's a good band name, R3
R3
Cat.
That is a good band name. I like
Yeah.
that. Our 3 cats.
Yeah.
So anyway, there we go. And it was a very nice, quiet, chill out sort of. Everybody was wearing sweatpants and sitting on the couch and chilling. You know what I mean? It was very nice.
Mhm.
And then yes, I hurt my leg the next day. Or whatever day this weekend. I was in my attic. So when if you guys will remember, I moved to the studio here a couple of weeks ago, and before I was in a different room in my house. And so anyway, when I moved into this room, this is the room that has the portal into the attic. And I've lived in this house for 18 years, and I've never been in the attic. And I've always wanted to go up in the attic, and it's been a goal of mine for like years and years. And finally, when I occupied this room, the kid moved out, and I took over this room. I was like, all right, I'm going up there. So I did it this weekend. I got up there because I had to run some wires from my old studio to the new. So I had to get up there anyway. So I got up there and it was uneventful. I thought it was going to be awesome and I'd find bags of gold or something. Cause this is like very old house. It's a
Ever
200-year-old.
happened, Bob? In
Well,
any
it hasn't
movie?
happened to me, but it could happen, you know, and it's a 200-year-old house. You never know what you'd find up there.
Yeah, that's
1950s
bad.
corn.
What I did find was nothing.
Right?
It was completely empty. There was
No,
nothing in the attic. Yeah, no bags of gold. So, but anyway,
Okay,
on my
but
way
Bob,
down.
Bob, the other options sound real bad, so you should be glad
Yeah,
there
I
was.
suppose. Yeah, you don't want like, dead bodies or something up there.
No.
But
Yeah.
anyway, there's nothing, literally nothing up there. But I did have to go up to do the wires. So I did that. And on my way down the last time, I'm like, all right. I said to myself, because I'm nuts and I talk to myself all the time. I said to myself, don't kill yourself on your last, trip
Wow.
down because there's not like a stairwell. It's like a hole in the ceiling. And I just like, and you kind of drop down onto a ladder. Anyway, so when I did it, I did nearly kill myself, and I smashed my leg on a sharp edge of wood, and I ended up with 2 kneecaps basically. I
Thanks,
sent
son.
Kilo a picture. It was
Oh yeah, he did.
we're not going to show it on the TV here.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to.
Fair
I'm not going to be
enough.
showing my bare leg with a big bruise on it, but it was a nasty one.
Manifestation, instant manifestation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
There you go.
That's-
So anyway, that was
Say, wow, thank you, universe, for my 10 bags of gold.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't get the bags of gold, but
Not yet, Bob. Check every single day until it happens.
Yeah, wait, it's
Right.
not in the attic. It's actually like outside in the corner of the backyard.
You are
Well-
the bags of gold, Bob.
Well, there
are
you go.
the
The real answer is, the universe said you don't need bags of gold. Get back to work.
That's true because you're rich enough.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it's, you don't get any bags of gold anyway. Sit your ass down and get back to work. That's what the universe said. Anyway,
Okay, now
Like-
that we what? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like Captain Picard would say, expect the unexpected, Bob.
oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And then he would say, engage. And Kilo, you were about to say something, so I'm saying
What?
engage. Yeah.
Why are
You
you
said now. It
Yeah,
sounded like you were about to
yeah.
transition into something here.
No, I have
Maybe
no
we
idea what I'm gonna just say. I don't know what I was gonna say now.
Okay. Well, why don't we start one of our little things? So
That's
you
what
wanna
I
do
was
the-
gonna say.
There you go. So let's do
Remind you
Alex's
of-
card thing. Yes. What do we call this? I mean, it's like a bit now. It should have a title. Like this.
Yes. Well, these are music oracles.
Okay. So
So-
this is our music oracle.
It's called Pick Your Fate,
Thing.
Bob. Pick your
Let me
fate.
think about
Okay.
a name for it. That's like fun. The woo woo.
Yeah, you got to pick we got to pick a fun
Yeah.
name, but we won't.
Okay.
We don't have to come up with it right now, I guess.
Okay, and we need to come up with, we need a little MIDI keyboard with little sounds for
Well, I
each.
got a
song.
keyboard right here in front of me, but
Yeah, but I want to make like a woo woo
Play
sound.
the Jeopardy theme song, Bob. Beep.
Right, it's like a little, we'll have a little music oracle time and be like,
Let's-
what time is it?
well, let's see if I can. I might be able to do this. Hold on a
Oh, yeah.
second.
But it
I
needs
want to
to
see if I can, because I'm,
Replay.
I believe I'm sharing my audio here, so I should be
Or if
able
you
to.
want to make real good meditation music, pick a pad, any pad, and just hold down one note.
You,
The end.
oh, you guys don't know. I'm actually looking at it. That's why I realized I was just kind of staring blankly at the screen. Which for no reason.
That's okay. That's
Alright.
what I do all the time. That's why I wear sunglasses.
It's not because I blind you with my beauty.
Ah,
Maybe. Maybe.
No, not gonna work.
Yeah.
The signal's not set up right.
Okay.
So, anyway, sorry.
See tonight, sorry. It might
Did
be
you-
because I'm in a new feng shui area.
You
Well,
can
what
just
I-
hold them up to the camera.
Okay.
What's
Let's
that?
move a little
Oh,
closer.
all right,
Mhm.
Okay, who would like to go first?
Kilo, you go first.
Hello?
Oh, okay. I want to go first.
Oh, yes. Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Stop.
A lot of thought going into
Hey, bro, calm down, man. There's a lot riding on this decision.
Okay, ready? Tell me when to stop.
Stop. Nope. Go back.
That one?
Go back. Yeah, that one.
All right. Okay, we're gonna-
Joel is calling my phone from the first season. Does everyone want to say hi to Joel? Probably not. All right.
The way
Oh.
you said that, it sounded like he was calling from the past. He's calling from the
Yeah.
first season. Joel's calling in from season 1. Let's see what. How's season 1 going, Joel?
That would have been so cool.
I already hung up on him. So
Oh,
the answer is no.
you should have put him on and not told him he was on. Been like,
Oh, I could always call him back and do that. But I do not know what will happen if I do that. So I'm not taking that chance.
all right, Bob, I'll turn them over at the end. Ready, Bob? Tell me when to stop shuffling.
Now.
Yeah.
Great job, Bob.
Okay, and tell me when.
That one right there. Yep.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was really, I really had my eye on that, but I didn't just, flippantly say that. So
Sure,
Or
Bob.
the
I
confident.
believe you, Bob.
it's true. It's true.
I want this one.
Hmm.
All right. All right, Kilo. Ready, drum roll. Or
What
Mongolian tonal.
Hmm.
Oh, Tina Turner.
I'm not
Right
mad
on.
at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Her hair's
Oh,
better than
that's
mine.
great. Tina
But-
Turner's awesome.
Ready? She says, it's not what happens that matters. It's how you deal with it. Purge your life of whatever brings you down. The most beautiful lotus blooms in the deepest mud.
We learned about that last night.
Tina said that? Wow.
No,
I don't know. I don't know if these are written from actual.
Oh, they're not quotes. They're just, they're like, I see. They're
Yeah,
descriptions. of it,
Because
yeah.
I know that she's big into meditation, and because of her abusive relationship with Ike Turner,
Yeah.
I know that it's always like huge hits come out of the dark spots.
does this
Mhm.
mean you're gonna hit me?
No,
I don't know.
It's for your own good, damn it.
Okay.
what is that? Give it a no, I don't remember her song. Anyways, Tina Turner.
Yes,
Good.
right on.
I'll-
Good.
I'll take
yeah.
it.
That is quality, absolutely.
Mhm. And
Wasn't
Wait,
just-
do
Bob.
people know what- do
oh,
people know
Bob,
what-
you're on fire
Yeah.
with this one.
What do I got?
Michael Jackson.
Oh, my God.
There we
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
Michael Jackson says, being unusual is not enough. You must be remarkable. Remove yourself from contact with the ordinary. The world is the dance floor of the creator.
Bob does nothing in an ordinary fashion.
That's
so
true. Yeah,
we
I'm.
have
I think.
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I think I'm all good there. Yeah, that was pretty. That's funny.
I'm scared.
Just yesterday or the day before was the 40th anniversary of Thriller being released.
Really?
Really.
Yeah,
Yesterday?
yeah. It was November 30th, so like 2 days or
Wow.
yesterday. 2 days. ago.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday.
No way.
Yep. I posted it
that
online.
scared
I
the
was
shit out of
actually
me.
on the German label thing. I did that.
Oh.
But yeah, I believe it was yesterday. Yep. 40 years. And I read a little story about they recorded that really fast. Like Quincy Jones, it's Quincy and Michael, and
Yeah.
and they had done the Off the Wall album a couple of years earlier, which is all freaking brilliant, by the way. Off the Wall is a great album.
Mhm.
And then when they came back, like they had like because Quincy was like recording an album with somebody else like before that, and it went over. I forgot the story. It was like somebody like Whitney or not. Well, it wouldn't be Whitney. Whitney was a kid.
Yeah.
It was somebody like maybe it was Tina Turner. It was somebody like a female singer that he was working with. And then it was at that studio, Kilo, that you've worked at, that you told me about that. Like that's where they recorded it. I was reading about that. What's the name of it there? Hold on.
What was it called back then?
I think it's the same. It's a pretty famous place, but let me just kind of.
In
I'm
LA?
Yeah. Here we go. I'll share my screen.
I
And
love
we can see
Quincy.
this because this is kind of fun now because
It's
we're
a
talking
great
about Michael,
documentary.
right? All right.
Great
let me-
documentary on Netflix. I recommend watching. I watched back to back Clive Davis documentary and then Quincy Jones's documentary.
And Love is Blind. She was also going to recommend that show. It's fucking hilarious.
All right. Okay. So what do you guys see right now?
Email.
Yeah.
Email.
This is an opportune time to go get hydrated. I'll be back.
Okay. Well. all
Well,
right,
he
hold
just
on.
brought you back, but okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, here we go. I got it now. All right. I just want to look at
That was what I was looking for.
okay. So you see this, Kilo?
Mhm.
So Michael Jackson, Thriller, Jackson working on with Quincy Jones. Blah, blah. Oh, he was working with Donna Summer. So in July, didn't start until July of 1982. The schedule was tight. Jones' previous gig working on Donna Summer's self-titled album. So they was working with Donna Summer, and then went over. So then they were tight on time for Thriller, and they brought back the same crew as the Off the Wall album, and enlisted as Rob Jones.
Off with you, oh yeah.
I want to see where it says what studio they were in. Oh yeah, Westlake Studios in Los Angeles.
Wasn't
Yeah.
no, the place where I was talking about was where some of it was mixed and mastered, not recorded.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is Westlake Studios in Los Angeles, and it's a really interesting story because like they had like just this tight amount of it's the most successful album ever of all time by anybody. You know what I mean? It's just insane, and it's when you read the story, it's just basically them. Yeah, it's just like any other recording session. They're cramped for time, and they got like different people, and it's just funny to think that even Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones are a slave to a schedule like that. Like you would think that Quincy could just be like, I'm Quincy, so I'm going to do this for as long as I want, and you're going to pay for it. You know what I mean? But even Quincy had to, he had to fit into a calendar.
And I think that's how they get to that level. I think, how us musicians, we can sit on a record for like, 10 years. I have a project that's like literally over 2 decades. It's like I think that's good. That's how come they get it's like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm not surprised
on my records at all. Usually, Bob, I don't. I know.
No. But I agree with you, Alex. I don't, but I'm not, I guess I'm not surprised that they did it, that they were able to do it fast. I was surprised that they had to, you know what I mean? Like, cause you just figure like Quincy could just call the shots. Even then, I mean, like before that, I mean, people might not know, but Quincy Jones was already a legendary musician and producer and composer. He's a jazz giant. I mean, one of the greatest of jazz, and got into pop. And R&B, first R&B stuff and disco, and then pop, because he got into real funk stuff too. Yeah. Quincy's the man. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I love him. He's my favorite.
Yeah, Quincy's just the man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Alex, what was your card?
Right, I'm afraid. Here we go.
Why are you afraid?
Oh, I got him again. Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You keep getting Jimmy.
Well, you know what? There's just so much that could be said about this one. But there was an interview once that I heard him say, and he was just like on stage. Obviously, he did a lot of like tripping and whatnot, but he sat there and he was like, man, life is just sound and color. He's like, if you just go to that, then all the answers will just come to you. And I remember hearing that and I'm like, it's so true. Everything is just sound and color. Why can't we just listen to him?
Yeah, amen.
Right on. Well, because he's dead now.
You're right.
But it's all sound and color. Okay. So he says only lose.
What? Nothing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Only losers stay in tune. If you live in a room full of mirrors, all you will see is yourself. Technology is a tool, but it will never set you free. What does that mean, Jimmy?
I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know, because Jimmy liked technology. I mean, he was a big fan. I mean, because what he was doing is the recording, like when he made his third album was Electric Ladyland, and that's when he built the studio. That's still there, Electric Lady Studios. It was Jimi Hendrix Studio. That's like, legendary. That's Jimi Hendrix Studio. And but yeah, he was like, that was cutting edge stuff. He loved technology. He had all kinds of
setting up like a foundation for kids to learn guitar and stuff when he died.
He may have been. He was pretty neat. He was getting into jazz. He was starting to work with Miles Davis. He was really going to do great stuff. Jimmy is honestly probably my favorite musician overall. Jimmy and Prince. I don't know which one you would pick, one or the other,
but in another time he said that he didn't hide back his woo-woo side at all. He used to say, I'm not here, I'm channeling this, I'm pulling. He was kind of along the lines of David Bowie, where he, I guess he didn't personify his woo-woo into characters like David Bowie, but he said, he's like, yeah, I'm just here as a channel. Like what you hear out of me is coming from higher dimensions, and I'm pulling them from high up all the way down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he did. You're right about the like the Bowie kind of like sci-fi kind of writing and stuff. And he did have characters because he had like he usually it was himself, but he put himself in these fantastical situations. Like Spanish Castle Magic. Spanish Castle Magic. He's like, it's very far away. Takes about an hour and a half to get there, but not if I fly by my dragonfly. He's like, so it's just like fantasy a castle that he's going to somewhere, and he's going to fly there on a dragonfly, or like one of my
that might be why I got him then, because I'm very fantasy.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really like to put myself in real life. And as songwriting, as we start to work more together, I haven't broken that wall down yet, but the natural self of who I am is like playing characters and Wonderland and blah, 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 blah.
That's excellent. Yeah. Well, yeah, Jimmy's a good choice for you. He one of his songs, he says, 1983, one of his songs, the title of the song is in 1983, a merman I shall come to be.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like predicting that he was going to turn into a merman, like a mermaid.
No, I'm pretty sure he was predicting how fucking high he was.
He was very high.
Yeah. I'm just
very,
gonna
very
point that
high.
out, Bob. Like, I don't think
He
he
was on other dimensions.
He
He
was
was,
just
man.
like living the dream, literally in a dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jimmy's man.
Yeah.
He's
This
from
brings me to a
Seattle.
question.
What's that?
I have a question that this stimulated. May I ask around?
Yes, please do. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Oh, are we going to start the
scared.
question round? Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that.
sure.
Is that
Yeah,
cool?
Yeah.
Okay,
for
so
sure.
Kilo, I'll start with, so the Jimmy and Quincy Jones, this made me think of, all these greats,
Mhm.
they all started with their first, maybe not paid gig, let's not even do paid gig, but like the very first project that you did, and then after you did it, you were like, I can now say I'm a producer.
Well, that's an interesting way to word that question. I'll
Mhm.
never admit that I'm a producer because I feel like I'm always going to learn new things. So like, I'm never really going to think that way. I'm a student of learning to be a producer, but I'll answer your question so I don't seem like an ass. But it didn't make me feel like that. I mean, maybe it did. When I first started being a producer, I had just I was ending a non-favorable relationship, and I decided like I needed to like change what I wanted to do with my life. And so I decided I wanted to be a producer, even though I didn't know what a DAW was. I didn't have a computer or a keyboard or anything like that. But this one night, my friend Paul was like, bro, I want to go take you somewhere. And I was like, okay. So me and Paul had a mutual friend, which was his, I guess, brother-in-law of some sorts, who I had actually helped sober up and become a non-alcoholic. So I hadn't seen Chris for a very long time. Chris at this point was living in an apartment, not separated from his wife, but like doing the whole sobering up thing. And so Paul takes me over there and I get to see Chris, and I was so excited. And then Chris was like a multi-millionaire and had like every guitar you'd ever dream of, every gadget ever, and he had Logic. And I had brought up like amongst the conversation, like, I want to be a producer. So like he, out of the kindness of his heart, would let me come over in the middle of the night if I wanted to, or like anytime I wanted to, and just like work in his Logic, because I didn't have a computer, I didn't have Logic or Ableton or anything, and I thought I was like the biggest badass ever, like I'm a producer. So that's when I felt like I was. That was like
karma.
Yeah. I mean, for real, you're actually right, because I helped him maybe, I don't know, a year before or something, because he had like some really bad trauma as a kid. So it just, once he made a lot of money, kind of evolved into being a very much of an alcoholic, not like a mean guy, but he just drank way too much all the time. And me meeting him, just me talking about my life, helped him stop drinking. And so you're right. It was karma that like I helped him, and so he helped me. Mhm. So
Nice.
Right on.
Cool,
Right
cool.
on. All right.
what
Oh,
about
Bob,
my right. So
and which part of music do you want to pick? Producer,
yeah,
song?
well, that's what I was gonna say. So like, I mean, for me, like music's sort of just like one thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like I play a bunch of play the instruments and record and produce and everything. So but they've kind of always done all of them at the same time. Like it was always kind of like when I was even like an 18-year-old kid, I played you guys some of that stuff. And I was just like, the whole point was just to make a song. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be a guitar player or be a producer or be anything. I just wanted to make songs, you know? So, and that's all I really still now do is just, I want to make songs. And,
and you're good at it.
so, well, thank you. But the point at which I probably that felt like I was like a guy that actually wrote songs that people listened to was the first time I heard myself on the radio, which was awesome. It was just I mean, I've been, you know, we were talking before. I mean, I had a radio show of my own. I've been on the radio and my songs get played on the radio stations, you know, not a lot of stations, but they get played around, you know, the world now. But
You're international.
yeah, to some degree. Yeah. But the first time anything I ever wrote got played on the radio was the song 10,000 People that my buddy Todd and I wrote, and my buddy Matto played drums. It was our band, The Distractions. Although I don't remember if we called ourselves that yet, but that was our band name. And it was just the coolest thing ever. It was the song's basically a sort of a mix of, it's like a ripoff of Mirror in the Bathroom by English Beat mixed with like Jimi Hendrix guitar. So it's a crazy, weird song, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
very cool.
There you go. That was it. That was probably, that would be around 1989, I would say. That's probably.
When I was being born.
Yeah, that was about 89 would have been. I was 19, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you, Alex?
From singing or song? I separate them because I feel like my careers in the different areas were so different. So like as a vocalist in recording.
So we should set, in case people don't know, right? Because you were like an opera singer when you were young.
A recording in studio vocalist for voiceovers and trained classically. So then I did classical vocal performance in like Lincoln Center, Carnegie Hall, and places like that.
Right on.
So,
places like that, Lincoln Center and Carnegie Hall. Yeah, the you know, the most prestigious stages in the world. Places like that.
My story was me in my friend's apartment smoking cigarettes.
That's what makes
and yours is,
But you know what? So like, okay, so I feel like I was professional very young, but so that's not really a good beginning. But to jump off of that, I had a great conversation with my mom yesterday, and I was saying to her, I like writing music, I like writing a song, but there's just something that I really love about cinematic, and it could be a pop song, but I really need like dimension to it. And she's like, well, of course, because you grew up around orchestra and symphony. And I'm like, so I don't know, I'm looking for that feeling of the culmination of everything where I can say, yeah, I finally got that, where it's the mix of the songwriter, the vocalist, the producer. And
nobody gave me the choice to choose
sound.
my answer of when I felt successful being a producer.
Well, we can add it on.
Wait, I thought you didn't answer. I thought you did answer.
No, she asked like the first time I would have thought of like, oh, I'm a producer, but no,
okay.
I don't actually have another answer, so let's not add it on.
What was
Sorry.
okay?
I was just curious. No, I was just saying that I don't know if I feel 100% at that space yet, because I'm trying to bring it all together.
Well,
Like
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
sure
nothing,
that-
but I'm not where I want,
I'm sure back when you were a kid at some point, you had a moment where you felt successful doing some music, something.
I
right?
just had fun with it. I didn't
there
think
you go.
about it.
right.
Like, well, there you go. That's the thing. What I was
That's-
just gonna say, right, is that like what you described, like you haven't found your exact sound yet and you're still working on it. That's what you'll always be doing. You know what I mean? Like you don't, an artist doesn't get to like, oh, this is what I do now, so I'm just going to keep doing this over and over.
Yeah.
You're constantly evolving. So really, it's just a matter of like, just being comfortable with who you are and what you're doing, and then and then just enjoy it, and then have fun. Like you said, when you were younger, I just had fun when I was younger. Have fun now, because that's all it is.
Thank
Just
you,
do
Bob.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to ask the next question. I'm going to say, when is the time you guys remember writing a song and like really just enjoying the process? Because I know a lot of artists, at least some of our viewers, don't enjoy doing it. I know I do, and the three of us do, but when is a good example of enjoying writing a song like that you remember vividly?
All right. Who goes
Bob.
first? You want me to go first? All right.
Oh, yeah. You put
Um,
me on the spot all the
Cat
time.
is
Bob.
attacking me here. Come on, buddy. Well, it's funny when you said like we all enjoy doing it and everything, and some people don't. Blah blah. I was thinking about I watched this interview with Bowie one time, and he was I think I mentioned this before on here, but where he was talking and he was talking about how he didn't actually enjoy making records. It was difficult and it was stressful and painful, and he's yelling, and and when I watched it, I was like, he's right. Like I mean, it's hard. I love recording, I think, but I do it because I do it all the time.
Right.
But like just before we did this, I was recording some guitar tracks for Kilo, and I had recorded them a couple days ago, and I didn't like what I did. I didn't like the sound I got. That's why and so I was doing it again. You can see the mic on the amp back there. So, and actually I used my cheapest mic and I got the better sound. I had my good condenser mic on it, but you can't put it too close to the amp with a condenser mic, but I had a good condenser mic on it and it didn't sound good. But then cause it's metal and it's just big, you don't want that distorted guitar sound. So I just got, that's a $100 SM58, just stuck it on there and it sounds great.
I love those though.
Yeah. Well, that's my live sing. That's what I sing into when I play live, cause it's a good SM57s are, well, let's see. There you go.
My first mic was a 58.
There you go. This is a 58 and this is a 57. They're essentially the same microphone, but they have, it's just the heads are different. Really. I think the guts inside are almost identical, but the 57s are great, usually great for recording things like guitar, but I didn't like the sound I was getting with the 57 either because I wanted it fatter. So I thought maybe the 58 would be a little bit of a fatter sound because, it's more dispersed, I had, and it did. It worked great. So there you go.
Pleasantly.
I'm not sure why did I start talking about that? Oh, because of the recording.
I was just wondering a song, Bob. You gave me everything except for what I
Well,
wanted.
no, I just commented. I was commenting on the premise, which is we all enjoy recording, and we do. But I've just kind of there's nuance to it, is what I'm saying. Because while you're doing it, it can be very frustrating. I'm, and I was like swearing at myself for an hour while I was recording those guitar tracks because I kept tripping over wires and, because I'm an idiot. But so it's just kind of funny. But the process I enjoyed, like writing the song, like, can I think of, I don't know.
That's not the question either, but yeah, go.
What was the question?
What is one mention of a song you can remember enjoying working on, or I didn't say recording, but recording.
Okay. Right. I get you. Okay. All right. Well, I was just thinking about this one. As you know, I go back and look for old songs that I wrote that I never published so I could, release them and if they're good. And one of them is called this song called Our Moon. It's this, it's really pretty. It's a beautiful song. I just recorded it when I was living in Florida. I was homesick. It's just kind of like a love song to everybody back at home. And it was this our moon is hanging in the same old place. When I was 21 years old, I moved to Florida and I lived there for a year. So I was, sad and drunk and homesick. So I wrote this song and it's a beautiful song. And I sing in falsetto through the whole thing. So our moon is hanging in the same old place. And it's really kind of pretty, actually. So there you go. That's
very cool. What about you, Alex?
With songwriting, I guess my first song ever, which was a gospel song called Listen, Don't Speak. And the youth gospel choir helped me put three-part harmonies on it. And I was young and I performed it. And I was just like, the church I grew up going to was in Lower East Side. So it had a lot of diversity to it. So the music that we did always was, traditional, spiritual, gospel, guttural stuff, but we had a very New York City swag to it. So there was just this feeling like, oh my God, we can all do this. And it just didn't matter how simple or complex the music was. It was just everybody in there doing it with you. So
That's
that was
awesome.
really, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Kilo, you have to answer your own question.
I know I am dumb. I should not have asked that question. I'm always the weird paradox where I guess I enjoy most everything I work on, or I don't work on it. Like
That's
I'm
good.
kind of
I think
that
that's
person where it's like, no, because you both are like, Bob gave an example of getting stressed out working on something, and she gave a definitive answer.
Because we're from the East Coast.
I
Like our
I
personality.
was born
Kilo
in,
just gave me a nice little backhanded jab there, like, oh,
No,
Bobby
I
said
wish
some
I was
crazy
that
shit,
guy.
and Alex gave a definitive answer. No,
no, because I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be like, well, fuck, it's whatever I was working on last, usually, right?
That's
Like
good,
at
though.
the
That's a
beginning
good
of
answer.
producing, like I would be stressed out because I had no idea what I was doing at all. And now I don't get stressed out and I still don't know what I'm doing. I just
you
kind of
definitely
do
do
it.
know what you're doing.
No, I
Yes.
just kind of do it and it happens. I mean, I would say it's also the song.
Just
Bob-
do it, and it happens.
Yeah, you're in the pocket.
I want you to be like, I want you to be like interviewed by like, Rolling Stone magazine or
No,
Billboard.
no,
or
you
somebody, and
don't,
they go,
Bob.
Kilo, tell us about your process. He's, oh, well, I just do things and they happen.
Push
Yes,
buttons.
yes, that's like the Jimi Hendrix,
What I'm
like
gonna
man,
do.
sound and color. That's
Yeah.
true.
Talking about channeling things, if
Yeah.
anybody produces in that way, it's probably me because I'm just kind of pushing things and then it sounds
Yeah.
good. And
It
everyone
does.
Well.
It definitely does. When you push things, they sound good. I agree with that. So
right,
keep
but
doing it.
it's not like I consciously go, I better do this so this
But
sounds
you're
like
being
that.
in the flow of it.
There you go.
Sure.
Yeah, you
It's like in
exist in the
nature.
flow. Right
If
on.
I had to pick one song, I think it's a song we all three are working on, which is the one Bob is tripping over the wires for.
The new one.
Because, yeah, the Osiris track.
Go
Because
Cyrus, right on.
out of anything I've made in the how many months, Bob, have I been saying I want to do that specific genre? Like
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
a while now, right?
Does that officially count? Is that a real funk song? Is that really the style?
I mean, I'm sure there are youngins out there that would probably debate that, but that's what's cool about that genre is like it encompasses so many kinds of music being added into it and stuff. It definitely has the groove of it and like that very much non-melodic, but more like
Well, that's why you made me simplify everything I did. I did a cool bass line and stuff, and he's like, "Can you just make it play the notes?" And I was like, "All right." Sure.
Well, it's only because I really want to make some of that music because
No,
it's
I
what
get it. I
listen
follow it.
to on my spare time.
I think you'll dig the guitar I gave you today because it's just those it's big huge chords just
Power chords.
yeah.
There's a lot of space in the mix for chords too. That's what's dope
That's
about
cool.
that kind of music. So I'm really having a great time working on this song that we've been working on how long now, Bob? Like it started with me doing a beat first, which is not my
I don't really know how long because I didn't realize until after I'd done stuff to it that it was something we had worked on previously.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kilo gave me these tracks and he's like, and I'm like, put bass on it's figuring it out and everything. And I was like, I could tell that I wrote the chords because it was like me. I know how I write. I know melodically what I would do. But I had no recollection of doing it at all. I have no idea. I still don't really. I mean, I remember the process that Kilo describes that created those chords. But I don't remember playing them. But that's just who I am. I
We
guess.
started it after Alex from Icon was interviewed, and he talked
Right.
about like beat makers in like the studio using Ableton and stuff. And we had never written a song like that because as a drummer, like you don't start your metal songs as the drummer. You don't go, now I'm going to play the drums and write my part. Then you guys figure it the fuck out. No,
Right.
it didn't work like that. So I've never done that. And that's where this song originated was me doing drums, giving it to you. and then you giving it back and forth and back.
Yeah, it's fun. It's the cool way to do it. It just made it even more collaborative and just more fun. And it's a cool tune. So right
Yeah,
on.
for sure. Okay, Bob, now you have to ask a question.
Okay. Cece, what would you like to ask? Cece would like to know.
Okay.
I have it written down because Kilo, before the show, Kilo texted and said, make sure you have questions
did.
or else,
Yeah, I did.
you're in trouble. So I wrote down a question. So I have a question. So we'll go clockwise. So we'll start with Alex. Alex, something you think you'd be good at, but you've never tried it.
Oh, that like musically?
It could be anything. This is the anything question. This is not
anything. Well, I'll keep it to music.
Yeah, okay. Then it's my music question. Music. How about that?
I've never performed live with the electric guitar.
Oh, nice. All right.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I want this to happen.
Right on. Okay, cool. That's a great answer.
Well, fuck, you didn't give me enough time to think of my answer.
Want me to answer I have an answer. You want me to answer mine first?
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Bob.
All right. So again, the question is something you think you'd be good at, but you haven't tried. And with me, it'd be acting. I've messed around. I played around with acting a little bit. Like I went to a friend of mine wrote a play and he asked me to come to the first rehearsal and he kind of gave me a part for the rehearsal. And he said I was very good. But I was like, oh, I don't want to be at a play. I'm sorry. I'm too busy, and that was like 20 years ago and I'd never tried again. So I think I'd be good at acting. So I would like to try it.
All right. Well, there's that.
There's that. Now you, Kilo.
I think I would be good at walking, but I have not tried. No, not that. I think I would be maybe good at either comedy, like stand-up comedy, not like comedy movies, or possibly motivational speaking, which is comedy to me. So it's the same thing.
Well, you're actually trained to some degree as not a motivational speaker, but you're a life coach, and that's kind of
exactly the same though, because life coaching is like help them come up with the answer they already know. Well, if you're paying me money to motivate you, you already know you want to be motivated. So keep the money and try shit.
No.
But no, I think out of the two, I can be funny in real life and get that gratification, but I think I would rather do motivational speaking, even though I never have. But my brand would be like, hey, life sucks and it sucks for everybody. So let's just not have
your life doesn't suck. You're so happy.
No. I think everyone, once they admit to an extent life does suck, then life doesn't suck anymore because
very
it's
Buddhist of you.
me.
Exactly. Everything Kilo says essentially is Buddhist, but it's shrouded in heavy metal and horror and trap music. But I mean, but he's Buddhist. I mean, it's all Buddhism.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So how do we take all three of our things that we want to do? Can we do this on air together next week? I will play my electric guitar.
Bob, you're going to pretend you're me and you're going to give my motivational speech.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Kilo has
no, Kilo does nothing now. I'm being both of it. I'm being my thing and his thing. I don't want to do that.
See, Kilo's really good at that.
I know, right?
Wait a minute. He gets you
Bob,
and then 2 minutes
that
later,
was me motivating you by speaking into acting. There you go.
Didn't work.
Fuck.
So no, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to try to act, although I could do my my BBC News guy.
Yeah.
Don't you think I already do that on here though? I do motivate people into knowing their life sucks.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But I do think I do that to an extent at least.
All right. You know what? I'm just impressed that we all had such ready and really kind of solid answers for my question. I didn't expect that. So
we all know something we want to do and we think we could be good at it and we don't do it.
We're little birds wanting to fly.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to walk. I mean, fly.
Okay. So I'm serious. We should do this next week. We should get each other outside of our
Okay. You know what I love? No, and I love getting out of my comfort zone. Not.
Yes.
This,
Just
see
feel
this
the
room,
thing.
in this room here, this is my comfort zone. I don't really leave it.
Well, face is priceless. Every once in a while, you're just like, no. Yeah.
We're gonna make you uncomfortable. No, you're not. No. Anyway, we'll see. We'll
It's
see.
one motivational speaker said once, if you can make your comfort zone being outside of your comfort zone, you're always in your comfort zone. I'm like, you're just mind fucking me. So I'm just gonna agree with that. But I actually have an
Yeah,
that to where like I like being in new situations where it makes me get that nervous energy because you can always use it as like adrenaline and like a good feeling rather than a negative feeling. So
Sure,
I like
yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you do and what you're doing. Like my default, right? My like, if I have no responsibilities, right? My
right.
default activity is to make stuff, to make music, to record stuff, to write stuff. That's just that's what I'll always do if I've got nothing to
that's
do.
a good question. What's our default activity?
Oh, okay. That what I just said.
Okay.
Okay, that'll be that's my that's my general question there. Okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I guess then you answer this one next, Alex. What is your default activity? I like that.
I like story building. Like I like creating interesting narratives and like making it out of the box, whether it's a song, whether it's writing, but I like feeling the creator of this life. I like to challenge the universe and see what I can manifest next. Like, okay, what can we do now? Okay. And I have fun in my own little world. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. And not far removed from basically what I was saying too. I like to, kind of be in my own little place and make stuff.
Yeah.
So, Kilo,
what
is your default activity?
I don't want to follow the trend here, but like mine is literally just sitting right here making noises.
I mean, that is the thing about that question.
If I'm not talking to one of the two of you, literally the two people on the screen with me right now, I'm making weird sounds happen. And then sometimes it's music, and then sometimes it's
something else.
Sometimes you feel like
sometimes it's the last song I put out.
But this is what the Triforce is, because I haven't gotten to find you two where I can settle in and be the singer songwriter vocalist. And when he played that funk song, remember my reaction? I was like,
because I didn't say right away, oh, I want you to be on this song with me. Like I just was working on it, and then I bounced part of it down, which is a very thing I'm very shy about. Bob will attest to this. Like I'll talk about the songs I'm working on, but I won't show people. But then her reaction to it was like,
well, I hear I hear what to do as a vocalist immediately. Right. And you guys know when you're locked in like that, it's like
I don't do that. Yeah. See, this is where we're gonna go with the thing where I say I push buttons and it happens. I never in my brain go, I want this to sound like this. I just touch things, and then cool sounds happen that excite me, or cool beats. Oh, it's so true.
I just like the cool things happen that excite me.
Yeah, right.
No, like I'm explaining
like
it.
A Sam Goody.
I'm trying to use my words better. Like you guys hear me say that and think I'm saying I don't know what I'm doing, but it's that I don't know what I want it to end up sounding like,
right?
Where I want to put anything, what tempo, what anything. It's just, for a lack of better words, forgive me, like fuck around and find out. Like just push things, and then that's
I mean, that's the whole. It's just like it's like improvisational performance, like playing, right? Like because you're you, right? Because you have the history and the knowledge and the experience and the talent that you do, right? You don't have to put yourself in that place. You don't have to put yourself in this like, okay, I'm gonna be professional producer guy now, and you don't have to think like, what's the right button to hit when I want more bass? You know what I mean? You don't have to. You're not conscious of those things because they're innate. Yeah, they are what you do. So then what you're describing is basically within that space, within
Mhm.
that already like knowledgeable space that you exist, you improvise. And that's what I do too. That's what I do with every recording I do. Same, that's what you're doing. You're a jazz man, brother.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
And all three of us are like that because like I could do that on the vocal side, just like
Yeah, right.
You
And
do
that's
that with the
that
instrument,
spontaneous
you're-
creation. Yeah.
and your instrument is Ableton. So, and it was
That's
it was
true.
created as also a live performance.
Right.
software.
Someone
go.
once said to like Skrillex or something, like, you're not a musician, you just work behind a computer. And he was like, okay, you take my computer and make a sound.
Yeah,
song.
really.
Like
I
he
can't
literally
stand-
said,
yeah.
like, you take this computer, you make a song, and then we'll find out if I'm a musician.
Yeah,
Like,
but that paradigm is being broken for sure.
no, but it's
Sure.
true. Like, it's true that it is being a musician because not everyone can take Ableton and even like turn a track on,
Yeah.
like, or
Yeah.
like, stuff like that. you know?
But that's just that whole like kind of gatekeeper mentality where
Yeah.
people are, like, you're not a real guitar player because you don't do this, or you're not this because you're not, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh.
or whatever it is. And it's like, well, screw you. Who are you to determine what's a real this or real that? I'm
That's
me.
my
I'm doing a
question.
thing.
I hate
Right.
labeling my stuff on social media. It's like gives me so much anxiety. I hate labeling. It's like I don't want to put what I am on social media so someone can judge me the first time they go to my page. I hate
Right.
it. Hate it,
Mhm.
hate it, hate it, hate
Right.
it.
Right
Let me
on.
ask,
So multidimensional.
I
or
want to use
talented.
that as a question, Bob.
What's
What
the-
is one of the times you can remember someone treating you with like a gatekeeper mentality, and what did you do in that situation? So that's my question for the group.
Okay, cool. Well, let's see. I guess, well, I'll say, because I was talking about guitar, when I was starting to play guitar, when I was a kid, I was a teenager and I was learning how to play. And as I said, like for me, it was all one thing. So I was like learning to play because I wanted to write songs. I wasn't trying to be Eddie Van Halen. My friends were all trying to be Eddie Van Halen. You know what I mean? So we'd, be hanging around and I would like, I'd have my acoustic guitar. I'd be like, I wrote this song. And they'd be like, whatever, you're not a real guitar player. I'm going to play Eruption. You know what I mean? So like that mentality, that's,
Right.
and that's true probably of everybody that's ever played an instrument in any, little suburban town. You know what I mean? There's always somebody going, that's not right. You're not you're not doing it the right way,
And how did you overcome that situation?
Same way I do. I just ignore everybody. I don't give a shit.
And that's
I just
Yeah.
do what I do. Yeah, I'm not a robot. I pretend to be, but I was actually very emotional back
No,
then.
you're
Right?
literally a robot, Bob.
Yeah, right.
Branding
But
is a robot.
Well, I joke because like my logo is a robot and everything, but no, I was actually, that's intentional because I was very emotional when I was younger and I kind of like got kind of zen about things and chilled it out, so it upset me back then, but whatever. I learned to not let it upset me. Now I don't give any shits what people think. So there you go.
Right. What about you, Alex?
Ask the question one more time so I can
Like the gatekeeper mentality means like someone who thinks because you don't do something a certain way, you're not really the
I
thing.
feel
You're not
like-
legit. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the first time I went into a studio and said, I'm going to mash up sound healing into commercial music, and they told me no, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm going to definitely do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. On.
So
There you go.
basically the same response as
Yeah.
Bob.
Yeah.
Mine happened at my favorite establishment that does not exist anymore called Blockbuster. Love Blockbuster.
I love Blockbuster too. We've talked about this many times, you and I. I love I miss.
I would
Blockbuster.
live in a Blockbuster
Oh,
if I
it's
could.
wonderful. Blockbuster
If
was
it
the best.
still had that smell of new DVDs, yeah,
Mhm.
With
it's
that
great.
great rug.
Great.
Oh, man.
I don't
It was
remember the rug.
I thought it was
remember
red, wasn't it?
yellow.
I don't know.
I'm not good with color.
Everything
That
looks great.
That
when
was
you put it
Hollywood
there.
Video, Bob, that was red. Anyways,
Oh yeah, Hollywood Video. I forgot about Hollywood Video. I knew there was another one. I couldn't remember. So yeah, Hollywood Video. We had
and I'm
both.
the
but
young
yeah.
one here, Bob. Come on.
I know, right? Yeah, well, I
But-
don't. I barely remember my own
It's
name.
got a
most of the
video
time.
store and a radio
There
station.
is-
And have them right next to each
There
other.
you go.
Why don't
You know,
we
there still
take-
is one Blockbuster.
I
They
know, and
made-
it's in Utah.
Yeah, they made a documentary about. I haven't seen it, but I know there's a documentary they just released on like Netflix or Hulu or something about the last Blockbuster.
let's go and perform there whenever we have something to
How are we
perform.
going to perform in Blockbuster?
I'll play the electric guitar, play nothing.
Okay. So we were in Blockbuster because that's literally what we did for fun. Our band, like whenever we would practice, we'd go to Blockbuster, get like DVDs and come back. Like that was my childhood. It wasn't like, let's go party. It was like, let's go to Blockbuster. One time I brought a dead duck with me on mistake or on purpose, but that's okay. It was in the middle of the road, Bob, and it was flat as a pancake. And so
in case people don't know, Kilo grew up in Oklahoma.
yeah, no, it wasn't like that place in
I brought a
Oklahoma.
duck with me by accident. I didn't know.
No. We were walking to Blockbuster and we decided not to like leave it in the middle of the road.
Right,
It was like
right.
a respect thing for the duck.
I understand.
Anyway.
You opened yourself up to it. Come on,
No,
you said I walked into
duck
Blockbuster.
was
I
the
didn't
one
know I
that
had a
got
duck.
opened up. But anyways, so we were in Blockbuster after band practice once, and we were talking about the song we were working on, and this guy came up to us and was like, "Oh, you're in a band? Who's the drummer? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
me."
yeah.
And he goes like, "No, who's really the drummer?" Because if our audience doesn't realize, I am a non-walking human being. I'm trying to find a better word for it, but I'm a crippled person. And so he really thought we were joking. Like he did, like serious to my face, like, no, who's really the drummer? And I remember that moment, even though I wasn't that good back then, like I got good because of that moment.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Like for real, vividly, I remember like listening to a band called the Agony Scene, who was actually a local Oklahoma metal band but they were very famous at that point. But we were listening to them on the way back, and I was like, I'm going to be this good. Like I wasn't really that good then, but I got that good.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
So, and he probably still wanders around Blockbuster talking to people. In
He's
my
in U-
brain,
He moved to Utah. He moved to Utah so he can still wander around Blockbuster and pick on kids.
Blockbuster.
See,
That's
we
great.
gotta go so that you could drum and be like,
Oh,
see,
man.
you
Slut.
thought
Oh.
you thought I was nothing. Well, guess what, buddy? I know.
But like
On
that
a
moment,
record label and a
those
podcast.
moments are the moments that made me good at things I do.
Yeah.
Like for
Like,
people
push.
out there, yeah. Like if you don't have things that like challenge you like that,
Mhm.
your life sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, but it's always I take like all things like that. I take as there's a caveat to things. Like for instance, like yes, hardship. You can learn from hardship, and you can grow from hardship, and you do, and we get better and everything else, and and it's inevitable, and we're going to have hardship that we deal with and everything else. But people tend to take those things and then glorify the hardship to make it say like you have to suffer in order to grow, and you
I
don't.
agree, Bob.
You don't. And you could grow a lot faster if you're in a loving, caring, and nurturing environment. You know what I mean? Like,
But Bob, you got to understand, like, I'm not glorifying the fact that I was crippled. Like I'm glorifying.
oh no, I'm not saying you. I wasn't saying you were
okay.
doing that. No, I was not disagreeing with you there. I was just kind of clarifying, one point you were making. That's all.
People.
I want to agree with you, Bob, though, because why I did get good was the loving, nurturing, caring
Exactly.
environment of that band that I was in,
Mhm.
where it was like once I wasn't in that band anymore, they played one show after that and never got booked again because I was the reason they were getting booked. We didn't
Right
know
on.
that.
Yeah.
So it's like that.
This is a part of your motivational speaking.
Blah. But I mean,
if you take that notion right a little bit deeper too, the fact that once you left, everybody you realize they realize and you realize that people are actually going to see you,
Yeah.
and like and that's what you did, right? You turned you didn't just get good when that guy was a dick to you. You got good, and you turned a perceived weakness into a strength.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So like then you're playing, you got gigs and people are talking about, do you see this dude's in a wheelchair and he kicks ass on the drums. You know what I mean? That's what what happened.
Overcoming.
And that's amazing.
And that's why people go to motivational speakers, because humanity needs to be reminded of the stories of the overcoming. And I think that us artists gravitate to the artists that we love, like Jimi Hendrix or MJ or like whoever, because there are motivational speakers. But for like people who don't choose to be creative musicians, it's like they need the speaking,
Right. Right.
Sure, yeah.
You could probably do both. You could probably, I mean, I think you could probably do a little bit of the, music and talking.
Well, I just feel blessed. Honestly, I've never said this on the podcast or anything, or to most people, or maybe to either of you, but that I had a gimmick that was built into my body. Right.
Right.
I was no better than the metal drummers I was playing shows with, probably not as good, but I was more like in the pocket, right, than some. But like it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's sort of the job of the drummer. So I'd say you're pretty good.
As a death metal drummer, you were like, it's different.
Yeah, you gotta do the flash and shit.
There's certain levels of it, but like I didn't have to be the best to be the person that the drummers I was playing with were standing backstage watching me, and I was like, they're watching me and they're coming out to me. I don't know how you do it, bro.
Yeah, because they can't do what you're doing. And that's the thing. I mean, like, it's not even right. Comparing the two is really kind of apples and oranges, because they literally are not doing the same thing as you. I mean, if anybody's ever, I don't know, we never showed it on the show here, but there's a video of Kilo playing drums on his Icon video. If you go to the Icon Collective website, look for Kilo House. And he held with the drumsticks with one hand, so it's like one stick sticking out this side, this, and going like this, and like hi-hat, snare, hi-hats. It's amazing to watch, and it's like that fast, crazy. Very
but
cool.
If you really think about the motivational aspect of what we're saying here, is like I technically took what in others' minds would have been like a downfall of wanting to be a drummer and made it into the thing that drummers I looked up to were looking up to me. So it became like a benefit just because I like music. It had nothing.
Role model. You became a role model.
Anything. I just wanted to be Travis Barker and do stupid shit.
Well, guess what? You actually are cooler than someone like Travis Barker.
Wait,
The guy, he's famous.
Them's fighting words.
I mean, he's famous, but who says you're not going to be that level or more? I mean, like, we live in a world that is seeking authentic success stories. Like, there's a ton of Travis Barkers out there. I don't know if there's any other Kilos.
Well,
I'll agree that Kilo is cooler than Travis Barker.
I am one of a kind. I am two handfuls.
And you're mine. Not kidding.
Right.
No, well, you can.
All right, time for me to go then, folks.
No, we're taking over the podcast, Bob. You guys wanted me to be motivational. Well, that's where I go with that, is that aspect of things of like, who cares what you can and can't do? If you want to do it, try to do it, and you're probably going to do it.
Right on, man.
And
there you go. I always just say I never have expectations for anything.
Right.
I'm a man with no expectations. I literally I don't expect any return on anything I've done or will do. I just kind of live. And that makes things a lot more fun. You know what I mean? It makes you don't talk yourself out of taking those kind of chances. You just kind of do it. Like, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll suck. It'll be great. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just go have fun,
I want to say one last thing about that, since I never really talk like this. I'm always the goober. I am the comic relief. I really think it does go back to why you can succeed in things if they're very out of the ordinary for you to do, is the reason why you do it. Like the why you do it. My why was never anything other than I like music. I like drums. Like, so no matter how hard it was to do it, for many, many years, I was having a good time. So if whatever you guys out there are trying to do and you can't, if you're not enjoying it, just don't fucking do it.
Right on. There you go. Just rock on and have some fun, right?
Yes.
So, Kilo, do you want to know a very woo-woo sound healer perspective of you being a drummer?
Absolutely.
So in the sound healing world, drums, percussion, didgeridoo, gongs are all root chakra instruments. And the root chakra is the base of your energy system that runs right through you. And what that chakra represents is your connection to you and the material world. So like your foundation of life. So it really gets developed from the minute that you're born, and
Yeah.
it develops your whole life, but it really gets its basis from 0 to 8 years old, right? And it's your understanding to the material world. So if you were in a wheelchair and your feet could not touch the ground on on an everyday basis, then your soul was yearning to be connected to the earth so much that it was like, I need to like get this energy out forward and find a connection to that earth energy in a different way.
Well, I definitely did. So
there's a really kind of science, there's a bit of science behind what you said, because electricity is always trying to get to the earth. That's the whole point. That's why you call it. That's why that's why you have to ground things, because electricity is trying to get to the ground. It's what lightning is doing. Everything. So if you get electrocuted, that's why you don't get electrocuted if you wear rubber boots, because the electricity doesn't have a path to the ground, so it won't go through you.
right.
So we humans are electrical beings. Our entire nervous system is electrical. So I love that idea. I love that idea that the energy in us, which is electricity, really is, I mean, scientifically is trying to get to the ground.
Yep.
That is what it wants to do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I love
Woo!
that. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
stuff.
I just felt, ooh,
Yeah, that's cool. That's
yeah,
neat
that was
stuff.
good.
Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
love
that
it when
does
you can
Yeah.
cross over science and
definitely.
hippy dippy stuff. So
That's
where are we
why-
with the questions anyway? Have we got any questions
So
left?
we should do at least one more each and then call it a night, because I have lots of music stuff to work on.
No, I think
luckily-
we've already. How many
Let's
questions have
do
you
a
asked?
random one though, because we've done mostly things where we talk about music or
Yeah.
what motivates us. Let's do like something fun.
We'll do one question each of us answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So who's gonna ask it? Who's got a good
I
random
don't
question?
need to ask.
Well, we're all gonna ask, so I guess I'll go first.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just doing one. I see.
Oh, okay, then Bob, you ask it. Why not?
I
Go
feel like
ahead.
you have
All
a
right.
question over there.
Me? I do not.
Um,
Me neither.
Why I put it on Bob's shoulder.
All right. Well, I had originally my other one was originally my random question, and I had a music question, so I'll ask that.
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right. So, what is I'm not going to say what song, because I don't want to say what song I'm working on right now, but I'm working on a cover song. So I've kind of had cover songs in my head,
Right.
and so I was thinking about what's the worst cover song that you could think of. Like, so basically, like a song that you like, and then somebody famous covered it and did a bad job of it, right? Or just did a whatever, a strange job of it, maybe. So I'll go first. So to kind of. So we don't-
Oh, mine is a joke, kind of.
Okay. Well, to say, because I asked the question in such a random kind of way, I'll answer it myself first. So I'll say, Tom Jones covered "Kiss" by Prince in like,
no.
Oh,
yeah, then it was
horrible.
just plain strange. And if you know Tom Jones at all, he's a Welsh singer who is like, what is it? It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. That's a pretty good Tom Jones, by the way.
Oh,
and-
see, you're an actor.
Yeah, right. And but he did Kiss, and Kiss is, if you know the song Kiss, is like, no, I don't want your extra time and your
Oh,
Kiss. So that's Prince. Tom Jones did it. I don't want your extra time and your, again, very good Tom Jones. Kiss. So there you go. That's my example of a very just odd cover of a great, great song.
So my answer is going to be all the way not what your question was, but something that I want to talk about. And it is technically covering something.
Why the
Hold on.
premise of a question at all? Why not just
Because-
talk?
Bob, this song, there's an artist I've talked to you about and me and Alexandria listen to called, I think it's Jake, but it's like JVKE, right? And he just came out with a Christmas version of his song, This Is What Falling in Love Feels Like. But all it is fucking Christmas sounds on every transient of the song. So
Oh,
where the
that's awful.
piano hits, there's a bell that's just
Jingle
like,
bells or
jingle.
whatever.
Like, no, but it's just playing the one flat note too. It's just they took it all and put it on a drum track and put like jingle sounds on it.
That's
That's
terrible.
Terrible.
That is terrible.
Whoever did this to you, person, fire
Well,
them.
is it
Right
his?
now.
Did he release it? Is it like an
Yeah.
official release?
Yeah.
So he's covering himself
I'm
and did a
looking
bad
at it
job of
on
it.
Wait.
on his Spotify right now. It's terrible, bro.
Wow.
He covered himself.
It's not a
Or
cover.
somebody
That's why
else
I
mixed it.
premised-
Oh,
That's why I premised it. It's not
Oh.
a cover.
Oh, I see what
It's
you're
a
saying.
new
Okay.
version called like the
right. A re-
Christmas release or something. And I'm like,
Right.
bro, I had so much respect for him as an artist. I looked up to his piano parts and like, not anymore. That
Mm.
That's the
It's
thing. You
not-
never know who was part of the team for the first album of anything. You
Yeah.
know?
well, yeah.
Mhm.
Whoever,
Right.
but he does play his own piano parts and stuff. So whoever let him release that needs to be fired.
Right on. There you go.
When you and Alex, when you hear it, you'll be like, why?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it.
Well,
after.
we're talking about it, so that's why I
There you
don't.
go.
Ruined a good song though. Yeah, if you guys out there haven't heard of him, you should look him up.
I like
His
his
song "Golden Hour" is amazing, and the original of that song, amazing. I love most of his music until now.
And I think a lot of people don't know that about you with your music style is that you really like a lot of that sensitive cinematic stuff.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yes.
I do.
Sorry to call.
I used to only like that cinematic stuff, but somebody that I know that is now on the podcast has brought the more sensitive side of me, not inside.
It's the age of divine feminine.
The Grinch got a heart for Christmas. Let's
That's great.
That's going to be our cover.
yeah, right.
Great.
What about you, Alex? You have
I don't have a bad one, but I have an interesting one because I never knew this. And I think if people out there don't know it, I want to share it. But Britney Spears's Oops, I Did It Again. That was originally a Louis Armstrong song that was created originally at Jazz 34. And he wrote it because he was always caught cheating on his wife.
That's
Call
awesome.
his wife drunk and give it up because he'd call her all the wrong names. So he wrote Oops, I Did Again. And then Britney Spears was going through with her managers through the catalog at the label, and she's like,
That's actually a really so Bob, you got none of
awesome. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm paying attention. I'm like Googling because this fascinates me. I love this story.
Yeah.
If that
good.
that's so great that it was like
That is
originally
very
a
cool.
Louis Armstrong song.
And that's something that a lot of people out there don't know about the music industry is that like there's the catalogs of these
for sure.
songs and artists get signed and they can like sift through these songs.
Well,
Mhm.
think about the new song that oh man, what David Guetta put out. It's called like that new song that's like the original melody of Blue, like that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like I'm being
I did it. Yeah.
like his new song is that song, just made with a different vocalist singing about like party. So
Mhm.
one thing I want to say about that song that my dad pointed out, and we can end it on this, is like you think it's like a party girl song, like, and then you listen to the bridge and it's talking about like not needing all the perfect things, not needing the bottle service. And I wouldn't expect that from like this wonderful house producer, David Guetta, but like,
he's pretty deep.
yeah, I mean,
I-
there's
Well,
a video of
no
him-
pun intended.
no, there's a video of him being super messed up on stage at Tomorrowland. That's why I laughed. He's just staring like this
Yeah.
for like an hour. So, but I really, really think that's cool. I wish I remember the name of the song because it wasn't what I thought. Even the chorus, like you think she's just having a good time, but when it comes to a certain point, you realize she's having a good time because of her mindset, not because she's having the like greatest lifestyle. And I was
Mhm.
like,
Right.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right
Sure.
on, man.
Yay.
okay, guys, good job. I'm proud of you both.
All right. I think
Thank you. I'm
so
proud
is
of
that-
you.
so what is that? So you call it, Kilo. Is that the show? Is that the end of it, or are we doing more questions? It's up to you. Up to you.
I don't care. I'm enjoying myself. I'll do whatever.
Can we pick a card for just one card for all three of us for how
Sure.
our podcast? Who's the spirit guide for the podcast? So I'll shuffle. Then one of you tell me to stop, and then one of you tell me which.
Not Bob. Bob does not get the right to say stop. Okay.
Oh, come on, Cece, what are you doing?
Oh, she.
Stop. Okay, now Bob, you have to pick one.
Don't. I'm sorry, I'm talking to my cat.
Bob, pick a card, any card.
Okay. All right. Hi, how you doing? Go ahead, that one.
I knew you were going to pick it. Okay, drum roll or Mongolian throat singing. There's a nun.
Why is there a
Kilo's
nun on the
favorite.
screen? What's
Who is
going
this
on?
lady?
Hildegard von Bingen.
All right.
Do
What
you know who
happened?
that is?
No, of
I
course
don't know
not.
who that is. No,
Bob, can you look her up?
I'm gonna look her up right now. I probably
Helgard von
Hildegard
Bingen.
von Bingen.
She says, become like a feather on the breath of God. Gain wisdom through the study of the unknown.
Okay,
The
she's a
soul,
saint.
the
what is that?
soul is not in the body is in the soul. Is that because today's podcast episode kind of did shift a little bit? We like started to talk.
Everyone thinks it's because we're dating. I'm just gonna point that out. They think I'm behaving myself. That's not what's happening. Or maybe it is. I don't even know.
Hildegard of Bingen is she was a German saint.
Oh, a mystic philosopher.
Play a song, Bob. Play a song.
She was a writer, composer, philosopher, mystic, visionary, and
Oh.
medical
So it
writer.
sounds
and
like
practitioner.
us three.
That sounds like the three of us.
Doing that.
There
Yeah,
you go.
fair enough.
One of the best known composers of sacred mana.
Play a song, Bob.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
I
I
gotta
want
play
to
a
hear
song?
it. We gotta hear it.
Hear what?
One of this lady's
This
music.
lady was from 1,000 years ago.
Go to Spotify,
I'm not exaggerating. I mean, she's
Don't be a gatekeeper,
Try
ladies.
it.
she
Try
goes
it, Bob.
from
Try it.
1098 to one.
I'm gonna
to
bring back the
1179. I don't have.
I'm gonna
any-
start wearing my Catholic school crucifixes.
I wore my mom's crucifix once and everyone got mad at me because it's not a toy.
Well,
What I was
I
told.
went to an all-girl Catholic
People
school.
wear crucifixes all the time.
Yeah, Bob, that's not Tulsa, Oklahoma in 2004 or 2000.
Oh, you know why? Because you're. I'm not being. This is not a judgment in any way, but it's a reality. You're not Catholics. Those aren't. You're not Catholics out there in Oklahoma. You're going to be probably a bunch of different Protestant denominations.
No, it's called non-denominational.
Right,
meaning
exactly. Like the
believe
big,
whatever
big,
the
like
fuck
born
you
again
want.
churches and
Around
stuff.
here, it's
Yeah.
all Catholics.
Yeah. Like in the East Coast, I mean, like the two people you're talking to, everybody's Irish and Italian, and you know, I mean, not everybody, but I mean, there's a lot of Catholics out here. Is the point?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of Muslims. There's a lot of everybody
Yeah.
else too, but there are a lot of Catholics on the East
The
Coast.
norm.
Yep. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's for sure. So anyway, that's why. That's because when I grew up, half the people I knew had a crucifix around their neck. I mean, people just, you know, every Italian has a crucifix.
Oh, yeah.
Every
And
Italian guy's got a crucifix around his neck.
I didn't know that this rock and roll symbol came from Italy. It's the horns. Do
What's
you
the
know
horns?
that?
It's the devil. It's the devil
Yeah,
horns.
of
Right?
course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but in
it's also-
Italy, they wear the horn, the gold horn necklace.
What?
Do you know about this?
No.
It can't. Okay, I'll have to get exactly what it's called, but it came from Italy.
Just
That's
because
cool.
I wear all
Rock on.
black does not mean that I hail Satan. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, do the Italians? They're not hailing Satan when they do it, though, right? I mean, the Italians don't do that sort of thing.
Oh, I
And
don't.
it was Southern Italy, not Northern Italian. But you know, a lot of I don't know. A conversation for another day.
There
Bada
you
bing.
Or not on a
Bada
podcast.
boom, bada bing. Yeah. You
Bada
go.
boom, bada bing.
And now I'm not talking about that. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think that on that note, we should probably end it because
Yep.
because
we
it's
should do a
getting late.
prayer. Like, oh, sorry.
We got to pray.
Yep. We
No.
need
No.
to find a way to end our
Oh
podcast
no! Ah!
more efficiently. This week's homework for the three of us is finding a more efficient way of ending a podcast without saying, okay, everybody go fuck off.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what is it. There you go. Okay, yeah, do that. That's good.
We can't hear it though. I can't hear it.
Well, no, but don't you do a thing and it makes a sound?
This one's a different one.
Oh, okay.
I have that one somewhere else.
Oh, well, that
There
was
it
a
was.
sound.
And that
Yeah.
means good
There
night.
you go. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Alex, you're gonna say goodbye before we hang up here.
Oh, yes. Good night.
All right. Adios, folks. And we will see you